when you're talking about the telos or the end or the argument, you're talking about the meaning and the aha sometimes of the text. That's what everything's driving towards.
Yeah, you don't want the aha moment 15 minutes into the sermon.
Right.
You gotta hold that back to keep them interested. I would like to think that I'm such a commanding orator that everybody's going to be interested, but I'm not under any illusions about that. So what I have to do is captivate them by tying them to the text, and they've learned that if they stick with this thing, there will be a moment when they will say, wow, I see that. And it's ideal if that sort of coalesces at the end.
Most of your illustrations in your sermons come from the Bible, but sometimes you talk about something happening in the headlines or in our world today, a worldview issue. And illustrations for you are they're not usually, they're never silly stories. They're usually something very illuminating, something that explains what this looks like.
Yeah, the times that I refer to anything in a culture is almost always in the introduction.
Yeah.
Because I'm trying to set up a problem, a dilemma, a danger, a heresy. I'm trying to say, this is what's wrong, now let's go find out how to make it right.
Right.
But once I get into the flow of the text, I don't back into the culture. I might make an offhanded comment, but that's a setup, and I think that's a helpful setup because you can't ignore things. I mean, in this long period of COVID with everything that's been going on, you can't be a blockhead and ignore what everybody's thinking. So you set the hook by recognizing the dilemmas, by recognizing the challenges. I was just talking to a guy who said, I've got 12 grandchildren, and I've been so disturbed and so distressed that they're living in the world they're living in, and I just didn't know what to do. And then I listened to you, and you said, God brought them to the kingdom for such a time as this. This is their time. And after setting up how horrible the world is, and then to say that, it just delivered him from that fear. So I think when you speak to people, you need to speak to them where they live, and then on the basis of what they need to know, draw them into the text, which answers that.
So unlike some preachers, you're not trying to bring the text to this century. You're trying to bring your audience to that time.
Yeah,
you're still between two worlds, but you're more pulling them to the ancient world.
So I'm not tying a rope to the Bible and dragging it into the present.
Right.
I'm tying a rope to the people in the present and dragging them into the past. You have a present problem. Here is a past revelation that answers it.